Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jeff, and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and we are playing some Rakdos Midrange because Rakdos Midrange has actually been kind of taking over the format a little bit, and it gets me a little bit excited to see if there's something new coming into Standard so that we can then be playing, more things that are the in between of Omnath and Rakdos and Rogues or whatever, so that we can start making Standard a little bit more interesting again. And for me, anytime there's a new deck that comes, on top on Standard. Sweet. I'm all for that because that means that there's more possibilities. And that is what is fun about this. It's not so much just this deck, this card is so powerful that it's busted and no one wants to play with it. Yeah, that happens, but as long as there's multiple decks out there, like I'd say there needs to be at least 5 to 6 decks that are powerful, like in the top tier close to that are worth actually playing to then make a format fun. And standard right now has been struggling with having like 2 decks, and this coming in as a third. There's like kind of 4, I guess, with rogues, Omnath, this, and then there's a couple other decks that are still powerful here and there, like just control in general is always good. That I think that we can actually still create a decent format with this. And so anyway, we're going to be testing out this Rakdos mid-range deck, and the basic idea of mid-range, of course, is to kill a lot of other people's stuff so that we can get out good things, have them be big things, and hit in for damage. Magnetic Channeler is one of the cool new additions to this, and just kind of like the idea of this deck kind of cycles around a little bit Magnetic Channeler, as well as filling our graveyard for our Liliana, and being able to fill our graveyard with lands that are instants and sorceries to then pump up our Magnetic Channeler. And that's kind of the cool thing about this is with the modal lands, we get to have Shadowfell Smashing, Agadeem's Awakening, Spikefield Hazard, Hagra Mauling. I think those are all of them. But they're all instants and sorceries that can then be in the graveyard. If we mill over lands, typically it's like, oh, we just lost lands. It doesn't really get value. We're losing them with Croxa when we bring it back, whatever. But with this, we can keep a certain different things into the graveyard, and Magnetic Channeler can be a little bit more powerful. So the basic idea of this is we're filling the graveyard for Croxa to be able to come back easily, or to grow our Magnetic Channeler, or also to be able to kind of use our Liliana to be able to kill stuff the turn that comes out. So those are the main reasons of wanting to fill our graveyard, as well as just being able to get more zombies with Timuric Calls the Dead or whatever, just that kind of thing. Uh, Everything else in this deck is basically just trying to capitalize on the value that we build within our deck. We're gaining some life. We're already like doing some big cool things, and that I don't really know what else to go into with this deck. It's just powerful. It's good. It has good stuff, and I like playing these kind of just like it's a bunch of good stuff, but they synergize well together, and it's great. The one card that I feel like I want to find a way to squeeze more copies in is the Nighthawk Scavenger. 2 copies is good enough, I think. Having the lifelink in this is really really nice against the more aggro matchups or whatever. It just prolongs the game sometimes for us, and it's just a huge threat. This card is so powerful. I don't think that it can fit in any more slots with this, but I want it to so bad. Anyway, so that's the deck. Let's just go ahead and jump into gameplay, see how it does for us, and wish me luck. All right, up against La Poutine, bring it on. And kind of an awkward hand, not amazing. Lots of tap lands. We do have Timuric Calls Dead, but it's playing a little bit slow here. Let's go ahead and mulligan this one away. And we'll keep this. It's a little bit better. I guess we dropped the Bone Crusher Giant since we have all black cards. But I guess that's fine. Ugh, we'll see. I just really didn't want to mulligan down to 5. And we could make this hand work, but it's going to be interesting. There's a red source. Let's go ahead and get this onto the battlefield now. Weller Tracker means that this is a mono green aggro deck. Kind of stompy and whatnot. So having Death Touchers will be really nice. Mire Triton. Hitting our red sources are nice. It's tight. Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, we'll go ahead and kill. Scavenging Ooze is going to be annoying, but I think that we just go for the Murders right now. Just get it off the board. Hopefully we'll run into some more removal along the way. Next turn we get to Croxa, Mire Triton. Potentially bring back Croxa the next turn. Harbinger, all right. Hexproof from black is not protection from black, so that's fine. So Mire Triton. And yeah, let's start discarding some cards. Croxa fills the graveyard. This can come back next turn now, unless they have another Scavenging Ooze. All right, Rapid Bite. Yep, that's annoying. Gets to start drawing cards. Hits us for lots and a half. Hopefully Crocs are coming back, though. We'll be able to stop them, though. I don't think we need more lands at the moment. Croxa. Gets rid of the Great Henge. Interesting. Do they have another one? Alright, Questing Beast. Swings in. Let's see. What do we have for the next turns? Timorant and Channeler. So we're going to fill the grave a little bit anyway. Let's go ahead and block. Why not? Scavenger. There we go. Let's get Scavenger out, and that'll mean that we'll have to wait for the Timorant Calls the Dead, but that's fine. Follow a Tracker. Yorvo. Why would you not play Yorvo first? Very intriguing. We'll take it. They get some card draw. This is annoying, but I think I'd rather keep the Scavenger rolling here. Ooh, another Questing Beast. Well, Spike-Filled Hazard. That's an instant to get into the graveyard for us. Doing it now before we go to combat, because otherwise it grows. Timorant Calls the Dead. See if we can grow the Magmatic Channeler as well. Nope. Exile a Rankle. How many cards in the graveyard? We're pretty close now. This just gives us more chump blockers if we need them. Now we can start actually putting damage to their face. Questing Beast can come out next turn. I'm not as worried about that at the moment. We're still just trying to overdo our value and hopefully start drawing some removal spells. Let's go ahead and kill here. Mill some more over. We get to bring back Croxa. Get rid of Murderous Rider. And opponent goes up. Yeah, so this is where the deck kind of just takes over, is being able to bring back Croxa so consistently. And we're willing to trade off because we know that we can still get the value that we need to. And that's where Nighthawk Scavenger really comes in. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like it needs to be a couple more copies just so that we consistently have that kind of game plan where we're like, no matter what you're doing, we're going to be winning the game. But that takes away from the ability to have the value. So I don't know. It's a hard one to fit in. Maybe like one land can go down for Scavenger, but we'll keep playing it as is for now. Up against Rusty. None of the stuff that fills our graveyard, but lots of good cards, so we'll keep this. We can actually fill the graveyard pretty well already. Watch us be up against a control deck. Anytime I see card backs like this, you're like, okay, we'll see what kind of thing these people play. We need to dig for lands. Put that to the bottom. Pass the turn. Timorant Calls the Dead. Let's go with Channeler, just so that we can start discarding and drawing more cards. We can try to find lands this way, right? So let's go ahead and go for the Channeler. Pass the turn. Alright, is it Rogues? Okay, Bloodchief's Thirst. That's not a land. Let's play Croxa. I'm not sure if they're actually playing creatures, so I'm not holding up Heartless Act just yet. It's sort of another Bloodchief's Thirst. Pass the turn. We did not hit the land we're hoping for. Cling to Dust. Is this the kicker deck? That's a possibility for sure. Sure, we'll keep the other land on top. Pass the turn. Okay, shocks themselves. Let's see if they have a response here. I'm not thinking that there's any creatures at the moment. We have plenty of removal, so let's see. So they do have responses. It could just be Cling to Dust again. Temple of Malice. This is just going into the graveyard anyway, right? So sure. I love that they changed this to mill 3 cards as well. They made all those changes really quickly with the mill keyword. I like it. Thieves Guild Enforcer, right? So it is rogues. I wasn't sure. Soaring Thought Thief. Yeah, milling lots and lots of cards over. Okay, bring back a Channeler. Or not bring it back. Make it a zombie. Swings in. I don't know why they went for that. Alright, Zareth. Still, I don't know why you're swinging it with a Thieves Guild Enforcer. It's a definite loss when you can add a flyer for free. Alright, gets to bring back some good stuff for free. Probably the Liliana. Yeah. Liliana's just good. Land off the top gives us some decent plays.
Every death is an opportunity to increase my influence.
Another Timeric Calls the Dead can give us some board presence. We know that there's a couple of things we want to kill anyway. Let's go ahead and drop the Timeric Calls the Dead.
Sorry for your loss.
I guess we should be taking things we don't want another Zareth to take. But destroy that. Play out the hazard, I think. Let's see, what can we kill? Not that. Yeah, I want a little bit more mana. Pass the turn. That way we can play Bone Crusher and something else, possibly. Alright, they gotta play out the creature before they go for discard. So now they go for discard and we get to kill them. We'll take 3 points of damage, but that's fine.
You think too much.
Scavenger's nice. Yeah. More removal is fine. That's also fine if it gets milled over at some point, so... Alright, play the thing that's in our hand so Liliana can't take it away. Swing at Liliana. Pass the turn.
Payback is coming.
Okay. Goes for the -3. Now if they play a creature to try to block this, we still at least get to kill Liliana. Let's see if they flash something in. Alright, so yeah, hold on to this before they go to blocks. Kill you, kill Liliana. Lap's great. And we're not exactly like in the greatest shape. They're top decking, we have a 2/2, and they still have lots of life total, so keeps it on top. That's also bad. And they have the Castle Lockthwain rolling for them, which I think we have 1 copy in the deck. Okay, draws now. They could have a 1-drop. Okay. Alright, Fable Passage, swing in. Play Bone Crusher Giant, pass the turn. I should be leaving cards in hand. This just lets us thin the deck a little bit here. It'd be great to have another Kroxa. But those will probably just get exiled really quickly. It's amazing how many cards went through and didn't find any Kroxas, actually. That's been a wee bit ridiculous. Okay, swing in for 6. Soaring Thought Thief, right, so they can block here. I always forget that this has flash as well. Down to 11. Timeric Calls the Dead. Alright, so they get to draw a card, because it's not a creature. Ooh, there we go. Oh, we're 1 land away from the Kroxa as well this turn. But they got rid of the Cling to Dust, luckily. I don't know why they went for that then. But we will take it. If we get to resolve this Kroxa, they don't find another Cling to Dust somewhere. This should be able to pull the game. Unless they find another Zarasan now. Oh, that'd be annoying. Okay, Castle Lockthwain. Draws a card. Nothing. Nice. Alright, I'm going to do this now to make him discard something. Let's get rid of permanents that we don't want them to bring back. So Liliana, Scavenger. I think we've gotten rid of all of our Lilianas now. So yeah, now we can just take out all the things we don't care about. Rankle, Timuric Calls the Dead.
I'll be even more powerful next time.
Lofty Denial. Alright, that's fine. Channeler. Attack in. Down to 3. Pass the turn. Do you have a board wipe? Extinction event. They'd have to go on evens. Another Croxa. Okay, now they can hold up Cling to Dust as well. Unfortunately. Sax now, interesting. Instead of going for the Lockthwain. Interesting indeed. Sweet. We got there. Not too shabby. Alright, up against a K-Mars and a Yorion deck. We do have some lands here. Yeah, we'll keep this. This actually looks like a pretty sweet hand. Still, man, these middle lands are going to throw me off for the rest of my life, it feels like. Alright, play the Scryland. Ooh, Wrinkle is good. We have the mana to play it as well. So sure, let's keep it. Alright, let's go Triton. I'm trying to figure out the right way to sequence this deck. Because the Channelers are sweet if they can get instants and sorceries in there, but I feel like we're not going to have very many targets with this deck now. Okay, Conundrum, that's fine. Just have to remember not to use Fable Passages the wrong way. Alright, now we have all untapped lands as well. So let's attack in first. I guess we play this out tapped. And play a Channeler. Pass the turn. Confounding Conundrum again. Issue with Wrinkle is that they're gonna have a. Alright, there we go. That's a good draw. We needed something here that wasn't Wrinkle, because that's just gonna end up hurting us. I could discard something now. Try to discard some. Like Spikefield Hazard is a completely useless card now, probably. So let's go ahead and use this. Get rid of this. Play the Fable Passage. Don't crack it yet. Use Timuric Calls the Dead. This is a good time for a Fable Passage. Get rid of a Wrinkle, just in case they have a way of bringing it back themselves. Okay, down to 16. Pass the turn. One cool thing about Field Passages and the Conundrums is that we could bring back like Aghadir's Awakenings or whatever if we need to. Alright, Apparition. Probably hits what, like Timuric Calls the Dead? That's okay. Right now it's only going to give us another 2/2. And if we get rid of this somehow, we get a 3/3 instead. So now board wipes don't look as good on their side of the... Because this is just when it leaves the battlefield, right? So even exiling their own Apparition won't help. Alright, let's use Thirst. That's cool. Crack this now. Grab a Mountain. And Swamp. Let's see here. I don't want to get blown out by a board wipe. Croxa might be the best play here. And so let's go for Bloodchief's Thirst. I just want to make sure that we can get... Oh wait, cancel. That's right, 2 or less. Alright, go to combat. Swing in. It'd be nice to get the Wrinkle out as well, but I'm trying to dodge the board wipe. I'm okay with Crocs against board wipe, though. So let's go ahead and go with this. Alright, try to keep it's at least an instant and sorcery into the graveyard, right? Alright, pass the turn. Alright, unfortunately, if they do exile on even with the exchange turn event, we're just in trouble. Maybe throwing out, like, maybe just hitting with Bone Crusher and playing it out would have been better. But then Shatter the Skies would be worse. Now if they Shatter, we're still at least getting a 3-3 to be hitting in with. Okay, Shark Typhoon. That is not great. Maybe now we pressure damage a little bit more. Okay, go Wrinkle. Unfortunately, they're going to have a chance to block this Kroxa. Actually, I probably should have just gone for the Bone Crusher again. That was a misplay. I was thinking trading off with one of these guys, but yeah, they definitely just blocked it with the Kroxa. Okay, each player discards a card. We discard Channeler. Alright, last card was Dance of the Manse. Okay, they'd have to draw amazing here to do much of anything. So we should have the victory here. Just 2 damage to face. We could have got a Murder Strider, kill this, and then everything. But yeah, it's game over anyway. There we go. Not too shabby. Alright, we're up against Hinek. Bring it on Hinek. And the mana base here is really awkward. But we're on the play, so it might be okay. Let's go ahead and keep this. Definitely not amazing hand, but there's good things about it. Field Passage to start it off, pass the turn. I guess I don't have to sacrifice this. We have slow lands anyway, right? The only nice thing would be if I found an untapped land here. So I guess, yeah, I go ahead and sacrifice it. We have less chances of it now. Hogger Mauling, put it out, pass the turn. Valiant Rescuer. Alright, kill that. Kill it with fire. Pass the turn. Alright, so cycling. Whoa, Escape Protocol. Very interesting. I've not seen anyone really play that. Alright, grab a red source. Do we go for Liliana instead here? We could just start ticking it up and go crazy. I was going to go Mire Triton and Kroxa to potentially get Kroxa out quicker. But we could just cause a lot of discard for the next couple turns. Alright, discard. We'll drop, I guess, Mire Triton. Yeah.
I have no interest in fighting fair.
Apparition. Does kill the Lily. Rude.
This was a wasted opportunity.
Okay, go Kroxa. A little bit more discard. So Apparition with this is really interesting. So they're just going to be bouncing with Skyclave Apparition over and over again. That's the idea of this deck, I guess. And then they can just bounce our tokens. So we want to wait till the last possible moment to kill this. So pass the turn. No instant sorceries in the graveyard. Down to 18. Probably has a counter spell. I'd rather this get countered than the Bone Crusher Giant. This also actually puts something into the graveyard for us, for Kroxa. Cycles, blinks it. Alright. We still get the token. This does not hit tokens, though. So it does not hit its own stuff. Oh, does it not count if it's blinked back? Oh, that's right. I forgot that that's how the ruling went. It's such a dumb ruling. Okay, never mind. Forget I said that. Forget I said that. Forget. Yeah, they can't target our tokens, so that's fine. Alright, go to combat, swing in. Down to 16. Let's go Bone Crusher Giant. The Channeler might be nice there. But yeah, this definitely, just having lots of threats is pretty good too. So they're going to cycle and blink this. I could force them to do it now. We lose the target, they steal the Bone Crusher. So yeah, I guess we wait as long as we can. Swing in. They block here, blink. Really, really interesting deck. This is very interesting. All right, so I can go for the shock now. They have to have another cycling card in the deck, which, I mean, high chance they will. All right, so they don't get it. We get to hit for 4. We get another Bone Crusher Giant. Are they going to be playing board wipes in this deck? Potentially. It'll fill the graveyard, right? For Kroxa. So why not? I mean, we're putting lethal on the board, so that's a good thing to do. Alright, there we go. Opponent scoops it up. Just does not have enough to deal with it. They probably could, like, deal with 1 or 2 creatures, but then, like, putting Bone Crusher Giants back to hand means that they're shocking themselves, and then we get to shock them again, so it doesn't really help at all. That's my guess, is they had like a Brazen Borrower or something, but if they couldn't actually deal with these this turn, they'd have to go with this guy, but then the next turn we just get to target them as well, so that worked out really well. Up against Diddy, and well, we have our colors. We have Timorant on turn 3. Let's go ahead and just keep this. I guess we dig for a red source first. Pass the turn. Alright, with the extra swamp here, I'm going to try to not use Agadeem's Awakening. Keep it in hand. Just because it is a really good card. It's nice to be able to play out lands when you have them and everything like that, but now that we already have 3 sources for black, like, we're good. Alright, Timorant Calls the Dead. Do you have Disruption? Okay, Frantic Inventory, that's fine. Kroxa as the only thing that we can hit. Yeah, decline that. Dang it. We get to build again, though, and bring him back on the next turn, so that's sweet. We could wait until we go for the Terror of the Peaks, though. And just play Wrinkle now. Alright, get Channeler. Yeah, we'd have to play this out. Yeah, we don't have the other red source just yet. So, Wrinkle is what we're playing. Forcing discard here actually might hurt us instead of them. We could drop the Temple of Malice, just hope for the red source. We really need to hit that though, right? We could drop Agadeem's Awakening. It's an extra sorcery for callers, whatever, more stuff in the graveyard. How much stuff is in our graveyard at the moment? Let's drop Timorant Calls the Dead. Alright, it's got to go for like Shatter at this point, I feel like. Brazen Borrower, potentially. Alright, but now we get to bring back Kroxa or Terror of the Peaks. No, untap land. Ooh, Liliana is tempting as well. I guess, yeah, it's the only thing we can play, right? So, yeah, Temple of Malice. Only creatures. Yeah, put to the bottom. Liliana. I'd like to go Tear the Peaks into Kroxa if possible. Let's see here. So we can bring back 2 drops. Let's go ahead and discard the Aghanim's Awakening. That's fine.
I really don't care about your plans.
Interesting. Alright, play this out so we can pay for Disruption. And so we can just be ticking up with Liliana. Okay, they have Neutralize. Rude. Discard. We're going to start trying to get damage dealt. So we're going to be discarding before the Kroxa as well if we can.
Sorry for your loss.
Okay, play Kroxa. Get rid of all the things that aren't instants and sorceries, and creatures we want to bring back with Liliana. Kroxa resolves. Makes him discard. Dream Trawler to the graveyard. We can now bring back our own Dream Trawler too. Unfortunately, we have to do this, right? So we want to get to 7 with this, so we do have to discard our Murderous Rider. It's sad, for sure.
I really don't care about your plans.
Omen of the Sun. Alright, so they can keep Liliana down. Glass Casket. Rude.
You think you're so tough.
Alright, in case this is a land in hand, Kroxa... I don't think it is, though. We play another Kroxa. Force the discard again. And then Kroxa again. Alright, now I think we just want creatures left. Alright, 3 more points of damage. They've got to hit lands at some point. They did finally hit a land, so they can bring Yorion to hand, but then we just force it to discard, so not worthwhile for them there. Yeah, it swings at Liliana. This only works for a turn.
Rude.
Rude. It's awesome, right? We start getting some hard draw with Castle Lochthwain as well. So I can get rid of the 1/1. That way we can swing in and still get some value. We don't get the Castle Lochthwain, but that's fine. We get hit for a ton here. Take up.
Sorry for your loss.
Yep, takes 3 more, takes 6 more, down to 1. You either have to keep the card in hand. Alright, sacrifice the scry. Dude, I'm just really liking this deck. This deck just feels great. 2 to the bottom. You have to keep something in hand, otherwise we just kill you on our turn immediately. So you have to bring Yorion to hand and hold on to something to like remove this. Like that'd probably be the only thing is Yorion to hand, bounce spell for Kroxa, but then we get to just bring Katsa back from our hand. So they have to wait. Yeah, I don't think there's any way out of this that I can think of. Jace Mirror Mage gets to draw some more cards. Opponent scoops. They actually were able to draw potentially 2 extra cards, but they wouldn't be able to deal with Kroxa. Yeah, so good game. All right, we're currently on a roll with this deck up against Noodle. We are 5-0 at the moment, and I'm keeping all the games in order here, and so we are 5-0. Deck is feeling sweet. We get some draws on this one, so we can potentially get Timurate Calls the Dead right away. Yeah, I think this is a keep still. I'm not totally sure, but I think it is. Well, opponent's mulliganing to Oblivion, into Oblivion. Play the Swamp, pass the turn. This is a good chance at us having the 6-0. We shall see. Mountain. Forest. Alright. Gruul aggro? No. Oh man, I'd like to get this out just so I can play out like Scavenger right away. Or Timurant Calls the Dead. That's probably better, right? We have a chance of hitting something else as well though, right? Let's go for our normal game plan. Mire Triton, we still have a chance of hitting other lands. This is also a really good blocker for a lot of stuff. Like Bone Crusher Giant might be there. That's fine. Oh, that was the other black source. Drats. That's fine. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant. I mean, the main idea here is that we want to get up to Kroxa basically as quickly as possible. Kroxa is really hard for this kind of deck to deal with. All right, Temur Adventures. Temur Adventures is annoying. Okay, Temple of Malice. No, more lands instead. Pass the turn. Can't kick this yet. Man, they're really pulling ahead. Our awkward mana base has been frustrating. Alright, so we need to play Mauling out. I think it's just Murderous Rider. We take 4 from this. We could play Scavenger as a lifelinker, but I think I'd rather try to keep this alive and actually be hitting in. Cycles a Triome. They've not missed a land drop. That means they probably have quite a few lands, that is. Alright, grab our third red source. Alright, Timurant Calls the Dead is a little bit harder to interact with. It immediately gets a trigger that happens regardless of whatever else happens. Nighthawk Scavenger, they can definitely kill with like Bone Crusher Giant and Lucky Clover, or just bouncing it. Bouncing tokens is annoying as well, but I think we go for Timurant Calls the Dead. We also get Kroxa this way. So yeah, we'll wait a little bit on the Scavenger until we need it. Alright, get a Triton back for a zombie. Pass the turn. Okay, Edgewell Innkeeper. If they haven't played anything else out yet, we're definitely going to hit this. Kill it while we can before they play anything. Shatterskull Smashing. That's a good removal spell. It'd be nice to be able to play both these out, though. Alright, Channeler. Go to combat. Swing in. And we can start just going crazy with threats. This is definitely Temur Adventures. One of the biggest things they're going to have issues with is just us throwing out tons and tons of threats. So, I mean, having more removal is nice as well. So they're thinking like Brazen Borrower here or something. Alright, so let's go with Bone Crusher here. Yeah, let's do this. We're dropping down really low, but go Scavenger. Get to potentially gain 3 life every turn. If they have a Brazen Borrower, it's annoying, but they can't actually play it yet. As a blocker, at least. Okay, Fave Wishes. Storm's Wrath. That is annoying. Shatterskull Smashing to the bottom. Timurant Calls the Dead on top. Now I think we're just digging for Kroxas. And that's fine. I guess I shouldn't have kept anything on top. It doesn't really matter. Well, swing in. Okay, back up to 16. I guess we want to try to hit the Croxa here instead of the Tiamat Calls the Dead. So Fabled Passage. I really hate that this doesn't do it earlier. The timing of it is really awkward, actually. Okay, Tiamat Calls the Dead. There's the Croxa. All right, now Croxa can be a bigger threat. They have to be able to bounce and take care of this. Okay, you can't discard a land if you have extra lands either. Alright, there we go. Still have to Storm's Wrath. So they have enough for Storm's Wrath and a blocker with the Fae of Wishes. If they have Brazen Borrower, it's a little bit better for them. But then we get 2 triggers of trying to just do 3 points of damage as well. So here's the question. Do you play out Fae of Wishes just as a chump blocker, hope that we don't have removal, or do you bounce? Alright, so they're going for the bounce. Okay, Brazen Borrower, that's fine. Alright, so we get 3 triggers with Croxa here. Or sorry, two triggers. Got rid of another Brazen Borrower. Sweet. That's nice. And opponent scoops it up. There we go. Dude, I really like this deck. It's just solid. It's really solid. That's 6-0 right there. Not too shabby. All right, so we ended at 6 wins, 6-0 with this deck. That's all the time that I had for it, but this deck is busted. It just feels really, really solid. Everything they were doing, like there were times that were a little bit scared if they just like have the right things at the right times, but I didn't ever feel completely out of control. Like we had answers, we had things that we could keep doing. Like we always had like action in hand, or good things to be running into, or things in the graveyard like Croxas. And I think that's the biggest thing is that Croxa, like Uro finally got banned, but now Croxa is going to be the terror of the format, and it's just really, really powerful. It's a busted card. Yeah, with like low cover mana cost, it can be killed in different ways easier. We saw that with like Skyclave Apparition, whatever. Like that's like the best way to get rid of Croxas and Uros or whatever. But overall, the deck is just solid. I really, really enjoyed this deck a lot. It was fun to play. Just a lot of good stuff here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. So if you guys liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.